Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Jeannie Barrow here to give you a quick update on the 50 Fit 30-day challenge. Today is Wednesday, and it's been a week since we began the exercises with my coach, Jasson Finney. And I wanted to step in to share where I am in this journey and thanking you for following along. And part of what I want to do is share what I'm going through. And it's not all rainbows and roses, as you can imagine. I remember since my first job at Prudential back in 1991, I was always into fitness. And I remember taking aerobics classes back in those days during my lunchtime at Prudential in Roseland. And ever since, I used to do extracurricular activities. I used to play softball for a little bit. I definitely enjoyed volleyball, beach volleyball. We had a sand court at Prudential. And some of those of you who know who I'm talking about, what I'm talking about, remember us playing beach volleyball at Peru. And those were fun days. So I've always made exercise and movement and fitness part of my lifestyle. And those of you who already watched the intro know that this year, 2023, I decided that I was going to take my fitness to a whole new level. And so I want to share with you 3 things that I've learned in this past week that have been eye-opening for me, especially as a coach and someone who helps others with their self and professional development, that have been insightful. My intention is to encourage you. If you're going through a transition, if you are taking on an audacious goal, such as this one for me, here are my takeaways from this past week. Number 1, it will get worse before it gets better. And for me, in this fitness journey, it means that when I received my meal plan, when I started to exercise with Coach Jasson, there was a lot of adjustment because I had already known how to do exercises for my entire adult life, but I'm learning how to do them well and how to execute them. And there's a part of my ego that has been creating resistance for me. And that all came to a head yesterday when we were doing one of our coaching sessions, because the program includes the exercise with Coach Jasson, the meal plan that he provides and helps you shop. He provides then the coaching, mindset coaching. And the coaching is really about getting vulnerable with yourself and truthful with yourself as to where you are today, where you want to go, and what is it going to take for you to get there. And as you can imagine, having had this persona of somebody who's an athlete, somebody who is a fitness aficionado, to get to my next level of fitness, I've had to come to terms that what I had been doing had been pretty standard and average. And that, to me, accepting that fact has been quite the crunchy aspect of this training. And that came to a head last night when we were doing our coaching session. And so it gets worse before it gets better in this coaching, is that I feel like I'm going through a tunnel, and I'm in the middle of the tunnel, and it's really dark right now. I am feeling the sugar cravings. I am feeling it's called the sugar withdrawals, because I love eating rice, or I loved eating rice and bread, and that turns right into sugar 20 minutes within ingesting it, as Coach Jasson taught me. So from that perspective, I am feeling cranky. I am feeling short, impatient, and it's all coming from the sugar withdrawals. And so it's going to get worse before it gets better, is what I'm experiencing right now. However, I already started to see changes in my body. I noticed that my belly is like a balloon that's deflating. Even though I never had a big belly, whatever I had is shrinking. And so it's happening naturally through the foods that I'm eating and the water that it's coming out of my body through my new nutritious diet or meal plan. So that's number 1. So for you, it gets worse before it gets better. How does that look like for you? What are you going through? What did you take on this year? What goals did you set for yourself? And how is it getting worse before it gets better? If you notice that things are not going your way necessarily, we're going to go to number 2, which is my biggest takeaway. It's trust the process. Coach Jasson told me yesterday, everything is a process. And I know this, and I wrote in my book, Healing Leadership, trust the process. It's one thing when we say things to others, but when it's applied to us, it's a different ballgame. When it's about our careers, for me, it's a different ballgame. I can, go at it when it's about my career. In this personal goal of getting into the best fitness shape I've ever been in, trusting the process means letting go of everything that I've known and relinquishing and surrendering to my coach who's guiding me through the process. So imagine being somebody who's always wearing the coaching hat, to take off her hat and truly surrender and explore and dig deep within my fitness world as to where the resistance that I'm feeling right now is coming from. So it's taking me time, and I'm trusting the process that it's going to take me a couple of beats before I get to a place where I realize and recognize what I have been doing, obviously, is gotten me so far. And that to get to a new level of fitness, I need to trust the new information I'm gaining from my coach, and then to take that and apply it and live it and experience it. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 is to be vulnerable. And that's for me this week, hand in hand with the first 2. It gets worse before it gets better, and trust the process. Vulnerability in this case for me is about being honest with myself and being clear about what is it that I'm looking for in this new fitness journey, and what is the compelling vision and feeling that I am looking for as I embark on this very strenuous, audacious goal. And to think that this is not a 30-day exercise, but rather I'm as I mentioned, in this tunnel, transitioning from my old lifestyle to a whole new lifestyle that is so foreign to me, where I don't eat whatever I want when I want, where I am eating 5 times a day, which I've never done in my entire life, and where I am being very intentional to move every single day in a specific way, and then do exercises that I have been doing, but doing them differently. So all of that is kind of bringing me to my knees, quite frankly. And I wanted to thank you for coming on this journey with me. And I hope that as I share my journey and vulnerably tell you where I am at, that you also consider how can I use what Ginny's sharing to support me in my journey. So whatever you're going through right now, whatever goal you decided to take on this year, how can embracing it will be worse before it gets better, it's a process, and be vulnerable support you. And that's all I have for today. I will give you another update this week. Hopefully, it's been a crazy schedule, as all of you can imagine. Today is my business development day, so I will be putting together proposals for my partners who've reached out to engage with me through coaching, VIP coaching for some of their staff. I have a proposal to create for 5 members at a bank that wanted to engage me to coach some senior leaders. And I also have to put together a proposal for a speaking engagement. And somebody asked, what would it be like to work with me for 2 different speaking engagements? So with that, have a wonderful week. If you need to connect with me as a coach, Ginny, leadership coach, career strategist, you can always do that at callwithginny.com. Thanks for following us as I share with you my journey of the 50 Fit 30-day challenge with Coach Jasson Finney. Bye, everybody. Live with purpose, live with joy.